On this edition of Lakeville City Limits, we will highlight some of the spring activities in the Public Works Department. Then I talk with Park and Recreation Director Brett Altergott about some of the upcoming projects for this year. And finally, we head over to the Heritage Center where Linda Walter talks with some line dancers. Hello, I'm City Administrator Steve Melke. Welcome to City Limits, Lakeville's public information program. Up first on today's show, we get an update on some of the recent activity in the Public Works Department.
In this edition of Public Works Now, I will explain the city's preparation for seal coating, spring street sweeping, pothole patching, the city's water meter replacement program, and our Watershed Cleanup Day and Earth Day event. Lastly, City Engineer Zach Johnson will provide a construction update on some of the projects that will be occurring in Lakeville this year.
I'm Bart Dingler with the Street Department, and we're replacing a sign that was knocked down, and you're watching Public Works Now.
Hi, I'm Chris Petrie, Public Works Director for the City of Lakeville. Watering restrictions are now in effect. Watering restrictions went into effect on May 1st and go until the end of September. Residents with odd-numbered addresses may water on odd-numbered calendar days. Residents with even-numbered addresses may water on even-numbered calendar days, and no watering is allowed any day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Every year, the Streets Division uses a specific kind of rock as part of its seal coating program. The rock is spread over an asphalt emulsion and is worked into the emulsion to help it adhere to the underlying layer of asphalt. This results in a new driving surface that seals the old asphalt and preserves the integrity of the road. Not all of the rocks work into the emulsion, and that remaining rock is swept up and stored by the city. This year, the leftover rock is being screened and stacked at the Central Maintenance Facility for reuse during this summer's seal coating project. Spring street sweeping is an essential service that removes the winter debris from the curb line to keep it from clogging the storm sewer system and entering the watershed. The debris left behind after the spring thaw can disrupt the stormwater system by depositing sediment in ponds, lakes, and streams that reduce their effectiveness to handle runoff, not to mention clogging catch basins and increasing the potential for localized flooding during heavy rains. Crews work each spring to reduce the impact in watershed areas by sweeping streets around the lakes and ponds first, and then going street by street through the rest of the city. Typically, 2 sweepers operate in tandem to provide the best service possible. A water truck precedes the sweepers to keep dust down and make the debris easier to pick up. Dump trucks work alongside the sweepers to carry away the collected debris. The resulting debris pile is disposed of in accordance with environmental guidelines. Potholes and shallow surface failures are common in the spring as changes occur in the roadway as a result of the spring thaw. For deeper potholes, the Streets Division uses hot mix asphalt to fill the holes. Hot mix asphalt, however, is not as effective in taking care of the shallow surface failures since the application needs to be so thin. In those instances where the pothole is not so deep or is a shallow surface failure, velocity patching comes into play. The city contracts for velocity patching, and it is an effective way of repairing the road surface by blowing emulsion and aggregate into the area that needs to be repaired. The city maintains over 17,000 water utility accounts. Each of those accounts utilizes a water meter to track water usage. Meters typically last approximately 20 years, so every year the city undertakes a meter replacement program. This year, city staff is replacing over 400 water meters as part of its annual project. The replacements typically take less than an hour and are performed by qualified city personnel. The cold and snow in April changed how Watershed Cleanup Day was handled this year. Trash pickup throughout Lakeville's parks, along roadsides, around wetlands, and along trails will occur this year as weather permits. Despite the weather, on April 20th, a separate Earth Day celebration hosted over 640 people at the Central Maintenance Facility. Education stations were set up and run by volunteers from many organizations. City and Dakota County staff set up a model roundabout that individuals could navigate on scooters to learn how to operate around the roundabout and how to move through a roundabout safely. Many other events that day educated guests about city water conservation initiatives, fun facts about city lakes and invasive species, and the significance of groundwater. A puppet show was a highlight for many of the children in attendance. The event and prize items were funded through the Dakota County Large Community Funding Grant to promote recycling and waste reduction. The Streets Division maintains approximately 9 miles of gravel roads. This includes performing dust control and initial shaping of the roadway in the spring, reshaping throughout the summer and fall, and of course snow and ice control and plowing in the winter. For optimum performance, a gravel road needs a couple of basic items: a crown driving surface and a shoulder area that slopes directly away from the edge of the driving surface, with the objective of keeping water drained away from the roadway to prevent distress and failure of that gravel roadway.
Hi, I'm Jim Schiffman, and we're going to be talking about road construction here in Lakeville this summer. And joining me is City Engineer Zach Johnson. How you doing today, Zach?
Good, Jim. How are you this morning?
Pretty good. We finally have some warm weather, so we're going to talk about what's going in here is a roundabout. We're in Kenrick and 205th, so could you give us briefly what's going to be happening here and how it's going to inconvenience Lakeville residents?
You bet. Well, we're at the intersection of Kenrick Avenue and 205th Street. This summer, the city is going to construct a single-lane roundabout, and that will help with capacity issues and improve traffic flow operations for now and in the foreseeable future as well.
Good. What is that going to mean as far as detours in this area, or are they going to have it open during construction?
The project is going to be constructed under traffic, meaning that all access roads and all lanes will be open. There will be some minor delays and inconvenience, so we'll ask motorists to be patient.
Naturally. And when is the project scheduled to be completed?
Project is scheduled to be started June 10th with the goal of completing everything by August 2nd.
Oh, so that's not too bad, not too bad. And what is that roundabout going to do to help move the flow of traffic? Is that basically what it's going to do, help move the traffic?
Yep, roundabouts have been proven to improve traffic flow operations and significantly improve safety.
All right, Zach, well, seeing though we're here by the freeway, let's talk about what's going on 35, 35E, and 35W. We know they're having construction up in Burnsville and Egan. When is that coming south, and what can Lakeville citizens expect?
Sure, MnDOT is doing improvements to I-35 this summer. You're going to make some pavement repairs, do some bridge decking repairs, improve some travel lanes, shoulders, things of that nature. So right now they're looking to do improvements adjacent to Lakeville starting in mid-July. Will last all the way up till probably December. For Lakeville residents, what they'll see is the 4-lane roadway will be reduced to 2 lanes, meaning single lane in each direction.
All right, and then they're going to switch and do the other sides, right?
Right.
Wow, so is there going to be any type of detours that citizens can go, or is it pretty much this is what it is and we're going to have to suffer through it?
That's pretty much what it is, unfortunately. It's not a whole lot of detours available, so.
Very true. Well, we have a few other areas to look at, so let's head on out.
Very good.
Come on. Well, for our next segment, we've relocated to the center of Lakeville near Dodd Boulevard and Highview Avenue. I understand, Zach, they're going to be putting a roundabout here. This is going to cause me some personal agony. This is my route to work. What's going to happen, and how is it going to affect the other people living here in Lakeville?
This summer, Dakota County is going to reconstruct Dodd Boulevard from 183rd Street to Hayes Avenue. They're going to construct it to a 4-lane divided roadway, and included with the project will be a roundabout at the intersection right here of Dodd Boulevard and Highview Avenue.
Very good. Now, big question, is the road going to be shut down, or is it going to be done under traffic, or what's happening with that?
And this particular roundabout, they are going to shut down traffic because of the construction operations. So the project work will start May 20th, but June 17th is when they're going to close down the intersection and the roadway. With the goal of having the project completed by September 13th.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. What are going to be the designated detours?
The detour is going to be Cedar Avenue, to County Road 50 to Todd Boulevard.
Ah, very good. Now, again, we're talking about having a roundabout here, and there's a lot of traffic for the school and heading downtown. How is this going to help the flow of traffic in this area?
Yeah, this will improve the traffic operations as well here by keeping traffic moving, and it'll have increased capacity for the intersection.
Good. Now, I got to ask you this. When are they going to redo the whole section of Dot here? Because we know a little farther towards the high school and the police station, it's 2 lanes in each direction. We kind of get that as we're heading down to Cedar too. What is the timetable, or is there none currently?
There's not a timetable for that project now, but the county and city have started discussions on that, and we'll look to the future to see when that project will be completed.
Well, for our final segment, we've relocated to Galaxy Avenue and County Road 46. Zach, tell us what's going to be happening with this project this summer.
This summer, Dakota County is going to do a mill and overlay of County Road 46 between Cedar Avenue and Pilot Knob Road. Essentially, what they're going to do is they're going to mill off the top few inches of the existing pavement, and they're going to come on with a new fresh coat of pavement. What that essentially does is that it improves the ride and extends the life of the roadway.
Now, are they going to be doing any curb and gutter work with that as well?
There'll be some miscellaneous curb and gutter repairs, some minor utility adjustments, things of that nature.
Great. And when does that project start, and how long is it going to take to complete?
It'll start some work on May 13th, and then most of the work will progress into early weeks of June.
Very good. Now, are there any other little neighborhood projects that are going on around the city that you can just briefly mention?
Sure, it's going to be a busy year in Lakeville. There's a number of projects. We have some street reconstruction projects scattered throughout the city, a few trailway projects. We have our annual roadway repair project, and then also some improvements at Flashing Yellow Arrow as well.
Oh, very good. Now, if anybody has any questions about any of the projects that we've talked about today, how can they contact you?
We have on our website, we have a link there that'll bring people to construction projects, and there they'll find information for the projects and contact information if they have some specific questions.
Perfect. Well, it's going to be, like you said, Zach, a busy summer. It's going to be probably a little headache trying to get around the city, but it's all going to be worth it in December when the snow falls again.
We're excited about it, and we'll just request motorist patience as they encounter some inconveniences here.
And that's what it's all about, just taking your time, getting to where you need to.
Absolutely.
So, thanks for your time, Zach.
All right, thanks, Jim.
That concludes this edition of Public Works Now. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact the Public Works Department at 952-985-2700 or visit us on our website at www.lakevillemn.gov.
Hey everybody, I'm Officer Don Nuts for the Lakeville Puppet Security, and I'm here today to talk to you about potholes. Hey, if you're driving around the city of Lakeville and you see these nasty potholes in the street, there's numbers that you can call to get those potholes fixed. You can call the city street department at 952-985-2711 and report that pothole. Or you can report it online at the city's website at www.lakevillemn.gov. Remember, pothole safety is in your and your car's best interest. Hey, that was pretty good. I think that'd work.
Joining me today is Brett Altergott, our Parks and Recreation Director. Brett, thanks for joining me here on City Limits.
Glad to be here, Steve.
Brett, it's been an interesting spring. Tell me a little bit about how the spring has affected the parks and recreation programs.
It's mostly affected the parks, the baseball associations, the soccer clubs, the lacrosse. With all the moisture that we had and all the different forms, the way it hit the fields just couldn't handle it. A number of fields weren't brought online till the middle of May, and that would be the main ones, your soccer fields and your lacrosse fields. We had to keep those down till the middle of May, simply because they were holding so much water we couldn't even prep them. As a maintenance side, we were about 3 weeks behind in terms of field prep.
When would you normally try to open those fields?
Normally, you start, you assume the middle of April, weather permitting, but for surely by May 1st you'd have those open. And this year, May 13th was when we officially opened everything. baseball fields were ready earlier. The impact on a baseball field is less. The infields were ready to go. Outfields were, there's not a lot of traffic on those. So those were opened about a week earlier this year.
So it must affect your sports programming, and how do you compensate for really losing a month's time?
I don't think you really compensate. You're constantly in a rescheduling mode. All the leagues specifically, they have slots of time, whether it be the Baseball Association, softball, lacrosse. They all have assigned fields, assigned times. And in order to make that up, they either have to extend their season and or eliminate some games. There's only so much space that we have. Fortunately, we were not the only ones in this situation. It wasn't just a Lakeville issue, it was a regional issue. And even if you look at the high schools, they've been battling and redoing their schedules. Luckily for the youth associations, they only really lost about a week and mostly practice time, so they're able to make that up.
Well, very good. So at least we're online now and we're operating.
Yes. Oh, we're extremely happy, and we can't wait to get out there and start mowing.
So the other part that happens in the summer is a lot of construction work.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. What's happening in the Parks Department for construction?
Well, construction, we have some major trail projects going on this year. The one that's out for bid right now and is due to come back in the beginning of June is the Kenrick Avenue Trail. So it'll go from 205th to approximately 185th along there. It's about a 2.1 mile stretch of trail. It's been something we've had federal money for. We've been in design, and we're hoping that trail goes through this year. And again, June 3rd will tell us a lot about where we're at. So we're excited about that, and we keep hearing good things on other projects throughout the state on that one.
That project, when it's finished, will also allow for a complete loop of Lake Marion, correct?
Yes, it will, and it also give people easier access. Coming out of Casperson specifically, you can take the Juneau Trail to Casperson, connect to Ritter, and then again, if you so chose, you could go either towards 205th or towards 185th. It's going to give people a lot of options, and it'll be a nice, safe route, because there are people that are using it now, riding the shoulder, and the traffic travels at a pretty high rate of speed along that stretch. So,
what would you guess would be the time at which that trail will be available for use?
Well, if it all goes right, early fall, it should be available. Construction-wise, because of the bids coming back in June, that we would have liked to have started in May. However, there were some delays on the design end, and now we'll hopefully be able to break ground in early summer and move along.
So what else is going on?
Well, along with some other, every year we inspect a third of our trail system to make sure, one, that we're keeping up and identifying areas before they become problems. And if they are, we do put those in the budget. Some specific ones on 175th between Ipava and Highview. That's a reclamation. You're going to see that trail basically torn up, and we'll put a brand new trail down. But we'll use some of the old trail as the base for the new trail. But there's going to be areas where you have substandard soils and things of that nature. You're going to have to dig out and fix that area, but that should give us a better trail for a longer period of time. You'll also see us just doing an overlay on an old section of trail. Just go right over the top of the old trail with a thin layer of bituminous to make sure that, again, that we have a nice trail for our residents to use. And along with that, the other thing you'll see is seal coating. That's important, as we get these trails back and we do reclamations and overlays, that we seal coat those. Seal coating has been proven to extend the life of the trail anywhere, about 2 to 3 times if maintained. It keeps those the salts and stuff out in the winter time, the things that come off the road end up on the trail, UV rays, things like that, and hopefully that'll protect our investment for years to come.
So Brett, how many miles of trails do we have?
Over 100 miles of trail, and it is some of the best trails in the metro area.
So let's change subjects a little bit. We've covered the park system. How about the recreation programming for the summer? What's entailed with that?
Well, recreation programming, there's a wide variety of things that we offer. So the first thing that we want to encourage is that for people to take a look at our brochure that is put out. The rec supervisors put a lot of time and effort into that and work with a lot of different people to make that happen. So we want to encourage moms and dads to take a look at that and register their kids for programs. Some of the things that I didn't want to miss anything, so I have a few things here. Popular programs are like Camp Kermit. We have horseback riding to where this year the kids can learn, on the horse and off the horse, properly working with the horse. That is something that's neat. We have science camps, nature programs at Ritter, the ever popular puppet wagon. youth sports camps. And on June 29th, I'll be doing the first Pedal the Parks. Since I'm new to the community, I'll be out there and people have an opportunity at 9 a.m. on Saturday, June 29th, and we'll take a ride on a section of trail. And that trail, we'll get more information on that, but it will be determined soon what our route will be. And of course, then we have our senior programs at the Heritage Center. And Linda does just an absolute ton of things to even narrow it down to a grouping of things. So definitely check out things at the Heritage Center for the seniors.
Well, you've covered a lot of programs there. What's a way for people to learn more about each of those programs?
Well, there's a few different ways. One is go to the city website and take a look at the Parks and Recreation page. We'll have updates there, as well as a digital version of our brochure. We do have a Facebook page now as well, linked again off the main page of the city website. If you click on that, you'll see about 9 different options for Facebook pages. Parks and Recreation is one of them. We do updates daily there. You can stop in, give us a call. There's a number of different ways, and we'd be happy to help out the residents in any way possible, find out more about our programs.
And if people are interested in signing up for programs, do they need to come into City Hall?
No, they do not. They can actually sign up online. It's ActiveNet, it's called. And again, there's a link from our website to the registration site. But we can take it over the phone as well or in person.
Well, Brett, thank you for joining me today and sharing a little bit about the Parks and Recreation program.
Thanks, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here.
Did you know that the Lakeville Fire Department is now recruiting for paid on-call firefighters? Applicants must be 18 years of age, reside within 2 miles of either Station 1 or Station 3, and possess a valid Minnesota driver's license. Applicants must pass a written test, a physical agility test, an oral interview, a pre-employment physical, and a criminal background check. Visit the city's website for more information on becoming a firefighter here in Lakeville.
And now it's time for Hank and Ed. Today's story, how to save water.
I like to keep the water running whilst I brush my teeth.
No! Always turn your water off when you brush your teeth.
Oh. I enjoy keeping the hose running when I'm washing and drying my car.
No! You should use the hose only for rinsing.
Best of all, I like to run the tap till the water runs cold.
No! Just keep a pitcher of water in the refrigerator, you pig.
Don't be a water hog. Use water wisely.
Hi, I'm Linda Walter, the Lakeville Senior Center Coordinator, and with me today I have my line dance instructors, Dolly Foland, Marilyn Spiker, and Ed Foland. So tell me, Dolly, how long have you been instructing line dance?
Oh, approximately 20 years.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
And when did you start instructing for the Lakeville Senior Center?
I believe it was probably 4 years ago.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Having
and
a
you
good
enjoy
time.
it?
We do. We
Yeah.
have a good time, a really good time.
So now, what do you think about our new Heritage Center?
I love the size of the room. It's so nice. There's so much more room than we had before.
Yeah.
And it's just really nice.
And less interruptions?
Lot less interruptions. Although we kind of like to watch people walk through, but
Try to get them to dance,
Yeah,
right?
right,
Yes.
right.
And Marilyn teaches line dance through the winter months, starting in September and through April. And
Correct.
Marilyn, how long have you been line dancing?
Well, I've been line dancing for 10 years, and I've been teaching for about 8 years. So,
Okay.
and I almost dropped out of the class when I started out because I thought it was a little difficult at first. No, it was because all those older ladies could line dance and I couldn't do it. But they'd been line dancing for like 15, 16 years, same dances. But I hung in there and I really enjoy it. It is very good for your mind, very good for exercise, about the best thing you can do for your mind, I'm thinking.
Yes.
So.
And then, you know, also you have built such great friendships too.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yes,
You know, I know
we
that
do.
you're all very close.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, our line dance girls are our real close friends.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
Party animals.
And I noticed last week where I think all of you bought shirts to match.
We did.
Okay, and
I didn't know we were going to
Dolly
wear
is-
them today.
I believe Dolly has one
Yes.
on,
Yeah,
though, don't
I have
you?
one on, yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
And there's
Yes.
several of us that have gotten them, so
And that's kind of fun too, isn't it?
it is. It is.
Okay, and then we have Ed here, and he is going to start a new class for me. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, Ed?
Yes, I'd love to, Linda. This class is specifically designed for people like myself who have 2 left feet. And when they get out in a group like this with everyone knowing how to dance, they tend just to want to go to the corner and sit down. So we've designed a course specifically for those people, including myself, and I'll be teaching that because I know how to teach, I just haven't learned to dance yet. And it's a 4-week course, and it just starts off with the very, very basic steps and does the terminology. And we're not learning to dance, we're learning the steps, so that when we come to dance and we hear the jazz box or the rumba or the vine, we know what to do. And so it's a 4-week course. It'll be very interesting. And I've appointed all of these members here dancing today to be on the recruiting committee. So we're looking for a good turnout starting May 12th.
Actually, it'll start June 12th.
June 12th. So we're really looking forward to that.
And it's a free class.
It is a free class.
Free class.
It
That's
is.
better yet, right?
It is. Always good.
Well, actually, it'll cost them 1 punch when they come in. So, but I imagine that you want to get back to line dancing.
Well, I think the girls behind me are pretty excited
I
about
think
line
so.
dancing, so it's probably
Yes.
time to get back there.
Okay, well, thank you for interviewing. And
Thank you.
Get back there and we'll watch you dance.
Okay,
You're
sounds
welcome.
good. Thank you.
Well, we're celebrating Older American Month this month with some special programming. On May 21st, we're offering Music and Musings. This is a program put on by our chorus, our dancers, creative writing class, drama class, and oil painting class. This program includes dances, song, recitations, and art. This is a program that you're not going to want to miss. On May 31st, the McGuire Middle School Choir and Band will present a concert here at the center at 9:30 a.m. We offer many wonderful programs here. We have a ladies golf league that plays on Tuesdays at Burnham Wood Golf Course and a men's golf league at Gopher Hills in Meesville. Pickleball is held at Dodd Park Trail on Fridays at 9 a.m. Cost is a $5 registration fee plus membership. You can join our biking club if you enjoy biking. They meet at the center on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. and bike approximately 30 miles. Cost is membership and a $5 registration fee. We also have a singles club that meets twice a month and a diners club that gets together on the second Thursday of the month. Cost for both is membership and $5 registration fee. We're offering a new class called Wine and Canvas. This program will be held at Main Street Coffee on Wednesdays beginning June 5th and going through September 25th. The class starts at 6:30 and ends at 8:30. Cost is $34 an hour, but that cost is going to be divided by the number of students. So it'll be quite reasonable and it's going to be so much fun. And to top it off, Main Street Coffee will give you $2 off on your first glass of wine. Have you ever wondered what to do with your stuff? Well, we have antique appraiser Carol Kralichek to come to the Senior Center and give a presentation on where to go to sell the items you no longer want. And this will be on June 13th at 1:30 p.m. We offer many programs on a monthly basis, and if you are interested, you're welcome to look at our website at www.lakevillemn.gov or stop by the Heritage Center at 20110 Holyoke Avenue. We're located right across from City Hall, so stop by anytime to get a personal tour of our new facility. Well, it looks like they're back line dancing and having a great time. If you're interested in this, you're more than welcome to stop by and watch. They dance every Wednesday morning from 9 to noon, and you may even want to sign up and learn yourself because it is really fun. Have a great day.
Now it's time for the answer to today's trivia question, which is, how many acres of land in Lakeville are designated as parks, recreation areas, or open space? If you guessed D, 1,939 acres, you would be correct. This includes neighborhood parks, ball fields, and conservation areas, all of which can be enjoyed by residents. To find out more about all the different areas to be explored, visit the city's website at www.lakevillemn.gov. Here is a look at some of the upcoming public meetings that you can attend at City Hall. The City Council will be meeting on Monday, June 3rd at 7 p.m. The Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Committee will be meeting on Wednesday, June 5th at 6 p.m. The Planning Commission will hold its meeting on Thursday, June 6th at 6 p.m. And the Finance Committee will be meeting on Thursday, June 13th at 7 p.m. For information on government meetings and the role of our boards and commissions, visit the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. That's it for this edition of Lakeville City Limits. Thanks for watching. If you experience a problem with your cable TV service here in Lakeville, you should first contact Charter Communications at 1-800-581-0081. If you do not receive a satisfactory response, you can call the city at 985-4407 and we will assist you in resolving your problem. And just a reminder, you can see all of our programming online on the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. Thanks again for watching this program and all of the programming here on LG TV.